in the pursuit of truth and common sense in an unbelievable world. You're listening to the Right Mind podcast with your host, Todd Schowalter.
Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Schowalter, and welcome to Right Mind. Today, I've got a fun guest with me. Her name is Kendra Crump. She's an up-and-coming comedian from Atlanta, Georgia, and she's also the host of her own show called, appropriately, The Kendra Crump Show. How you doing, Kendra?
First off, I want to give a shout out to your speaking voice. You have a great radio voice. Do you do radio on the side, like as a main job?
No, I don't. I guess
like you're good.
Oh, well, thank you. Now, wait, do I pay you that quarter now or after the show?
No, listen, man. It's just, look, it's a compliment is free. It's okay to let a person know, hey, man.
Thank you. And you know what? Having you on, who's a funny lady, it makes my job easier because now, if I screw up, I'll just say, let's take it to Kendra and she'll make us laugh, right?
You need to do a little bit of comedy as well. You thought about doing some comedy also?
Well, I actually did do comedy for a while. I did some stand up way back in the day, and
really?
Who knows? Maybe I'll go back to it if they don't. Because I can actually, that was back in the days of the chicken wire and stuff where they throw stuff at you.
Oh, you mean like they throw like something? You mean when you're not doing good? So did they stop that because people started throwing hands? What's the reason why they stopped that?
Yeah, hams, did you say? Yeah, hams, tomatoes, all kinds of stuff. But
no, hands, like fight, like the hands. They fight, like start throwing the person speaking, throw a fist at a person.
Right. No, I never got that far because I was also a runner and I could outrun them at that point. Now, this point,
really?
Yeah. So now I'm a little slower, though.
I mean, but what? I mean, you at the AARP age now? That's why you're a little bit slower?
Now that really hurt. I mean, Kendra, you were like one of my favorite guests up until about 2 seconds ago. Did you say, you want to hear something funny, Kendra? I mean, I got my AARP card when I was like 40 years old. I didn't know if it was like a joke. But I figured, look, I'm going to go start eating at the discounted Denny's, even though I'm like 42 years old, and so I've had my ARP card since almost as long as my driver's license. So.
ARP card. I've never. Oh, that's what that's. Okay.
ARP,
got it.
Well, all the insiders like, myself, an old person as she's referred to me as, we referred to it as the ARP card. Yeah.
Got it. You know what? You teaching me something new. When you turn 55, you get free pancakes at IHOP.
Get out of town. Do you really? Well, that was actually my first job I'll tell you a funny story, but you're the comedian. I'll let you go into the rest. My first job, first real job, 14 years old at the International House of Pancakes, or as you just referred to it, IHOP. 14 years old, I had a work permit. I worked really late. I had my paper hat, 2 a.m. in the morning. My dad, God love him, would pick me up after the shift. Mm-hmm. And they would pay me, I think it was like, 20 cents an hour in pancakes. But my whole job, Kendra, get this, was after the bars would close at midnight, okay, all the drunks would come in to IHOP to eat pancakes. Now, one thing that do not mix are pancakes and lots of alcohol because those eventually come back up. And you needed somebody to clean this mess up. And who better than a 14-year-old kid with a paper cap on to do it? Me, I did it. You know what? I said to myself back then, you said how old I am. I guess this was back in 1864. But I said to myself, nothing will ever be as bad as this, ever. But
you said they only pay. So you really pretty much on a weekly paycheck or you bi-weekly, you probably brought in $200, you would say?
No. I think it was more like $2. I don't know. It was so far back in the day.
Like overall, like after like a combination, like a monthly, like on a monthly gross, you probably only made like $100 every 2 weeks. Basically $200
I
for the
don't know.
month. They ripped you off, man. Let's go. I want to
be an
angry black woman. Take me to what state was this in? So I can go ahead and rent.
This was in Missouri. Yeah,
I'm gonna be angry black woman. I'm gonna get your recompense. We need your money back, man.
Well, they tore my location down. And now it's I don't know what it is. It's like a grocery store or something, but I don't know. But that was a long time ago.
It was.
That's back when
it was like 10 years ago.
It was 10 years. No, it was longer. This is back when you could like abuse kids and get away with it and stuff like that. Now they frown on that now for some reason.
This world is, you know what's so crazy, right? Let me ask you this, and you can choose to answer if you don't want to or so. But it's like, it seems like as time is progressing, it's getting worse.
Right.
Things you didn't think were actually gonna be happening are actually happening, right?
Yes.
Like guys who have the audacity to try to holler at me and they don't actually have a working vehicle. They have Jordans. Like that to me is an issue. Right there.
Now, let's just expound on that, Kendra. When you say I yell at you, do you mean like wanting to ask you out, or is that what you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, I speak a lot of Ebonics. Yeah, holler like, yes, I'm trying to get to know you. I want to be with you. I want you to like, I want my penis to into your vagina. That's
Got
what,
it.
That's what.
Well, and nothing said. I would think if I saw somebody in a pair of Jordans, I mean, my mind, not me personally, because I'm a straight male, but if I were a female, I would think, he's got some Jordans. I want his penis in my vagina. That's not how it works. It doesn't work that way.
It does when you're like in middle school and high school.
I was going to say, because I missed out on a lot of easy. I didn't have any Jordans, but I think I had. I don't know what I had, like Buster.
You had Chuck
Brown.
Taylors? Did you have like
Buster Brown or something like that? No, I wore like paper sacks on my feet. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I didn't.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you remember the most amount of money you ever spent on a pair of shoes once you finally got the money? Do you remember the most amount of money you ever spent on a pair of shoes?
$4.20.
That beautiful $4.20. All right.
$4.20. That was last week too. And I only got one shoe, but in these days you got it. As Joe said, Joe Biden are I'm not going to go into him, but he said our expectations are too high. President. Yeah, right. He said our expectations are too lower your expectations. So I decided, well, I only need one shoe. So I did that.
You know what's so crazy, right? So I got I don't know if you can see it back there. My little shoe rack back there, right? So
oh yes. Right.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? I like sneakers. I grew up a tomboy. I played basketball, football, baseball, anything ending in the word ball except men's balls. But I'm trying to play with a couple of rappers' balls who are rich and they look good and they're older. Okay. But they're not responding back to my DM. I guess I'm not, naked enough for them. Back to the story.
Well, you need to wear some Jordans. Kendra. Apparently that's the ticket.
That what it might be. It might be, but you know what? The thing about it is, like, I have always liked, sneakers and everything else like that. But also I know that I want to get to that point where if the sneakers have like, they start looking homeless, that's when I go and buy some new sneakers. Right. But these sneakers are built to last. Forever.
Why? Because, I know personally some women that spend hundreds of dollars for jeans that are torn up and look like crap, like I have in my closet, and they're spending more money for ripped up jeans than they are paying for my full jeans that are Levi's. So why wouldn't that be the same for shoes?
You know what's so crazy? I find it hilarious how people, it's the new trend. I made this post on this comedic post where I said that you all realize that Balenciaga stole Skechers' whole idea and they're making y'all pay bands for it. I say, just wait until this whole skinny jeans and Balenciaga era is over. Y'all gonna be upset thinking to yourself, like, man, I really was wearing some leggings and some ugly Skechers. Like, you gonna really be upset about that, right?
Well, yeah, but see, you're delving into an area I don't go into, because I don't know if you know this because you're a lot younger, but once you receive your ARP card, you're not allowed to wear skinny jeans anymore. It says on the back of the card, by bearing this card, you won't bear skinny jeans. Okay. So I'm not allowed to wear skinny jeans.
So what's my favorite part of seeing guys wear skinny jeans?
No,
they like to sag.
They like to sag?
With a belt. They'll have a belt, but they're sagging with their belt.
Oh, okay.
Wow. And their belt's designer. I'm like, wow, okay.
I mean, well, I don't know. It sounds like you've come across some between the Air Jordans and guys with sagging over their belts. I don't know. I mean, you're running into quite a impressive crowd.
You know what else I come across, right? I come across, and again, it depends. If you live like in New York, certain parts of New York, you don't even need a license or a car, right? But
Right.
in other states where you do, or other cities where you do actually need that, it amazes me how a lot of these guys who try to holler at me, they don't have a license, a car, a house,
Right.
credits. But guess what they are? They're Crip, they're blood,
Right.
and they got weed, and that I'm like, and sometimes it's not good weed at that. It's hilarious to me. And they'll
Well,
put what you doing all day, WID, WID.
well, see, at least you have a lot of people yelling at. I mean, typically, like when I'm out driving and people start yelling at me, it's because I'm on their yard or something.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I mean, but they're yelling at you for a good reason. I want to go back to your shoes because I got a question for you, Kendra. How many pairs of shoes do you have?
I have
Be honest.
four, no, I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got, does heels count? Do heels count as shoes?
Yeah, of course they count.
Okay.
Snow boots, anything. How many pairs of shoes?
10. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pairs.
Wow. Why do women have so many shoes? Can you tell me that?
I think it's because it's just like we have this thing where we are like, oh, the more the merrier. Like it depends on like your outfits. Do you have a lot of outfits, as well? So
No, I don't.
that's where it comes down to, like, the outfit choice and stuff like that.
Really? So, okay. No, I told you I just have one shoe and I'm fine with it. That's all I need. That's all I got to do. Now, let's go back. Now, you're not becoming a comedian. Where are you playing at? I mean, are you?
Know what? You need to get back into the comedy world. You coming on my podcast? After we're schedule is over.
Okay.
I'm gonna schedule you on my podcast because your voice. I'm gonna put you on my, like, when my TV show comes out. You can be. I don't know. I want you to be a regular, maybe a fill-in. I don't know, but you need to be on TV. I'm telling you, like, your sarcasm, your level of, like, I really don't care. Like, I love it. I love it. You don't really care. You'd be like, oh, okay, all right, if that's what you want to do. Okay.
Well, that's just it, Kendra. That's the thing. I really don't care. I don't care about anything. I really don't care about anything. I mean, seriously. I mean, people, even things I should care about, I don't care about. I go to the doctor or something like that. They say, you ought to watch this and this or you're going to die. I don't care. I mean, it just doesn't. Things don't bother me. That's just, I think people care about too many things. They worry about stuff all the time. And then they get these anxiety or panic attacks and all this. People like myself that just don't care, we don't get anxiety. What do you get upset about?
Exactly.
What's there to get upset about?
And that's why you look so youthful. I feel like this is a part of your regimen. I feel like you're on a week-to-week based regimen. You drink your water. Okay.
Right.
You praise the Lord.
I do praise the Lord. I do.
I feel like you pimp slap folks on a regular. This is my motto, Todd.
Yeah.
Swing on somebody today because tomorrow's not promised.
That's right. That is right. You hit it on the nose. Yeah. Right. And also, if you like, don't do today what you could do yesterday or something like that. Now I get all my messages all mixed up, but I know where you're going with that. I do know.
I just, you do your yoga. I feel like you do. I feel like you're a yoga man.
I do. I'm glad that you brought that up. Okay. Because I did yoga for the first time for probably two times, just about 2.5 months ago. Now, I'm going to bring my wife into this because I have a wife that's trying to kill me. And so that's a whole other story. And so I think she decided that maybe this will be a way to kill Todd. We'll get him to do some yoga. So I go into this yoga room. Okay. And now let me preface this. It's me with a bunch of ladies in yoga pants. And then there's me, Todd, with my one shoe, right? Now, actually, I had to take my shoe off because you're not supposed to wear shoes. And they have you doing these things, right? And it's supposed to put you in a peaceful state of mind, and it's supposed to be relaxing. Well, okay, to me, I'm more comfortable just laying on a couch and twisting my ankle over my earlobe and then like humming. I mean, what about you? Are you a yoga person?
I am, and let me tell you something. What happened? Right, I'm at the point where I'm able to do like almost do splits, and I think what happened was I think I split my hamstring because last week Friday, and it's like been going on several days now, and I am like doing hamstring stretches to help like heal my hamstring. How?
Right.
Because you're older, you're like you're a doctor in a way. You're like a parent. How many kids do you have?
That I know of. Let's see. I two that I know of, but I've been. So you're getting me in trouble now. You're getting me in trouble. Two that I claim. How's
Okay,
that?
so there it is. Well, I was gonna say, as a parent, you're still a doctor. So here's my question. All right, how long does it take? Because Google tells you can don't. I trust Google, but at the same time, Google will tell you whatever you want to hear. How long does it take for a hamstring strain to heal? Because I'm trying to get back to doing my yoga.
34 hours. 34 hours. I know this for a fact because I was actually pre-med for like a day and a half in college.
Really? Okay.
Yes, pre-med.
Well,
I was
you for
also
your service.
yes, pre-med for a day and a half. I was also pre-law for a day and a half. I was pre-archaeology the day after that. And then I was a lot of things. But I know for a fact from being in pre-med for a day and a half, it was actually more like a day and a quarter because I got hungry and went to lunch. But it was like you're in luck because we covered like the healing time for a hamstrings and it was 34 minutes.
So why has it been still hurting? I've been doing leg exercises,
right?
Like I've done with like YouTube, YouTube University. I learned how to do like Tubal Ligation. So any women out there who want their tubes tied, come holler at me. I know how to do it.
I do that too. I learned that on YouTube. But that's a whole nother show. Well, let me ask you something. You're going back to your hamstring. You say it. What type of things are you doing when your hamstring hurts? I mean, what's causing that? What do you do?
Well, what you mean, like what had caused it initially? Well,
what are you doing that makes it hurt?
to make it a little bit better. So what I was laying on your back and like pushing your legs to your chest and putting your leg up, and you're doing it gently.
Now, are you talking about getting your tubal ligation now? Or are you talking about your? I'm trying to keep up, but I'm old, Kendra. I'm old.
Well, listen. When this cuts, well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you once this cuts because you. Once we're done recording this part, where I will let you know off camera. Okay.
It'll be like off the record, one of those things.
Yes.
I got it.
Listen, man, seriously, here's my question for you. What made you decide not to continue on with comedy? Because you really do have a gift.
Oh, well, thank you. I was running from the law. No, I wasn't.
I mean, listen, can I tell you something? The FBI showed up at my house a week and some change back.
Did they really? What
they did? This is like no BS. I'm gonna tell you quickly, like 3 minutes or less, 5 minutes or less. So I'm an interviewer, okay? Right. And the thing about it is, for me, I try to reach out to different entertainers. The problem is they want you to pay them to do an interview. I'm like, if you're just broke, just say that. The airport is always hiring, okay?
Right. They are.
Like has been people. You on Unsung, okay? There's your payment right there. They didn't pay you. You didn't invest your money. Back to the story.
Wow. Wow. That is wild.
So I had this idea in my mind. I grew up a little bit about myself. I grew up in an evangelistic household. So church was 3 times a week, God, and everything was a sin. If you didn't say your prayer, if you didn't say grace, that was a sin. I'm like, oh, okay. So what it was is that I had this idea in my mind. I don't know. I think this has happened to everybody. You know how like if you have an idea in your mind, but you don't act upon it. And then you end up seeing your idea many months or years later. And you're like, oh my gosh,
yes, I do.
I could have been a millionaire.
Right.
Well,
I know.
In my mind, many months ago, I had this thought where I felt like it was God, but sometimes, God has me on do not disturb. I guess he's, sometimes he picks up the phone. Most of the time he does not.
I know.
And so with that being said, had this thought in my mind that says you need to reach out to notable famous inmates. If you get an interview with them, your career will skyrocket. Okay. One of the people I reached out to is a terrorist, who started, I'm going to keep it real with you, right? Todd, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Okay.
Okay. Well, I am too. But the thing is, we're not really conspiracy theorists because everything that we conspired about is now becoming true. So we're actually visionaries, Kendra. So
Okay.
go ahead.
I like that. That's better.
Yeah.
And so one thing I know is that 9/11 was an inside job. And one thing I know is that the FBI, they really have no real purpose. They're just here to kill people off. And let's keep it real, okay?
Yeah.
Like why was JFK killed in the middle, like in the broad daylight? Who did that? That person's not nowhere found. Back to the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, like were you there during that JFK like thing, or
Was I there during JFK?
Yeah, like did you like when he was getting inaugurated? Were you like in the crowd somewhere?
I was driving the car. No. You tell me you look young, and then you say, "Oh, yeah." You're like, "Did you live back?"
But
in
the
Civil War?
Benjamin Button effect. So no. What happened is that I wrote, and mind you, I never knew about this guy. Only person is Osama bin Laden or Saddam Hussein, one of those people, right? Never knew about this guy, who is the only person who's in prison for this. Mind you, it was hundreds of thousands of other people, but he's the only one that got convicted. Okay. Never knew about him. I found him off of inmate.com, but it was other people.
They have inmate.com. That sounds like a dating app. I mean, but it's not.
It can be if you talk to the right person who's inside. Okay. Love After Lockup. Did you watch that show?
Which Love After Lockdown?
Lockup. Love After Lockup.
No, I'm still trying to get through my third season of Matlock. That was before your time too. That was I'm still kind of going through the. But I'm not going to go there. I mean, no. But to answer your question, I'm usually watching like infomercials for like fiber laxatives because I'm old, and so that's what I spend all my time on.
My favorite infomercial was when they would have the fake preachers, and then like people be catching a fake Holy Ghost. I used to
catching a fake Holy Ghost. Wow. Did the Holy Ghost have Jordans on? That's what I want to know. Jordans?
Yes, it did. Like I saw a moonwalk and crip walk in the
Wow. Well, let's go back to these prisoners now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So what happened is that I'm gonna tell you some notable inmates I was writing. Larry Hoover. He was the co-founder of Gangster Disciples gang in Chicago. Okay. I was gonna try to find the Menendez brothers, but their stuff is off the grid. Wayne Williams, if everyone doesn't know who Wayne Williams was, he was the Atlanta boogeyman in the 80s. He was responsible for the child murders, which more than likely he could have done that, or he could have just been framed, one of those things. Okay. Then we had Brian Nichols, which he's known in Atlanta. He basically back in the mid 2000s, he had kidnapped a woman, killed a judge. He was on the loose, like one of those people. Right. Basically Suge Knight, but he's on JPay, so you can actually write him, but he needs to respond back because I sent him. I paid $20 worth of stamps, and he needs to respond back to one of them. Back to the story. Yeah. Sure. So what happened was the guy, the terrorist Zacharias Musari, whatever his name is. I wrote him. Again, I never knew. I just wanted to know about him. Who are you? What is it that who exactly are you versus what the media has portrayed you as? What was your upbringing like? What are things that you like doing? What made you? A lot
of these people don't know the killing is illegal until they've done it. But go ahead.
Oh gosh. So with that being said, that for me personally, that's why I was writing him. So I sent out that letter a month prior. They showed up at my house, and mind you, I'm off the grid. Nobody knows.
This is the FBI that showed up at your house.
Yes, they showed up, but I wasn't there. I was out running errands, but they called me the next day and let me know. And I'm like, the man. I said, I knew y'all was like, y'all the only people who can locate me. I said, the man, So anyway, they laughed. I made them laugh the entire time. So I actually made that.
The FBI. I always find it's good to make law enforcement laugh, especially when I've been pulled over. Anyway, so let me ask, are you friends with all these prisoners and these terrorists and all these people? Have you become like friendly with these people?
So when I wrote the first letter, I never made that far for them to respond back. So I wrote the first letter of being friendly. I gave out my real social media so they can know I'm a woman. And because, some of these people portray to be but then there's still people on the internet who will portray to be a woman, but they're really a man. Back to the story. We're not talking about transgenders. We're just talking about people behind the scenes and stuff.
Right.
So So they said that he will never receive your letter, and I'm like, so why is this information on the web then?
Well,
They're
it's
like,
the
oh, we
post
don't
office.
know.
Nobody receives your mail anymore. The mail anymore.
So with that being said, they said, I understand what you're doing about. They just want to make sure I wasn't down with 9/11. I'm like, no, I'm not down with like that entire thing. I was gonna let them know, bro, this is an inside job, and I asked some questions. Like I said, where's my father? We don't know. I said, where's Tupac? Oh, we don't know. Can you take me to Area 51? What's in there? We don't know. You guys know this.
Well, Kendra, I mean, the thing is, I think you missed an opportunity, to be quite honest with you, because like whenever like the FBI shows up at my house and they go over things like you're talking about, just as they're getting ready to leave, I said, I thought you were here for all the bodies in my basement, and then they don't know really.
What?
They're like, what? And so I say, no, I'm sorry, I got to watch my stories now. Matlock's on, and I'll say you'll have to come back. But no, it's always good to kind of leave them hanging with something like the bodies in the basement. Now, the reason I asked if these are your friends, if you become friends, if you became friendly with these people, and like say like you decided that you didn't like my show or me or anymore, I was just too old to be alive anymore. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have one of these people come out and like hurt me, would you?
No, I just want to get some money from them because they got money.
Oh, they got money. Okay, well that's good. And they could buy Air Jordans probably. I don't know.
I got some in the back that I don't wear no more.
I got one shoe. Well, you know what? We're down on our last. This has flown. We have a half-hour show, and we're like, we got.
No, this has been hilarious. And what I would say, people, man, I don't know if I'm still on the watch list, but they said that the only way you'll be on the watch list is if and only if you keep writing terrorists. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was multiple.
Nobody understands. You were just trying to be friendly, right? I mean, I don't. People don't understand just being neighborly anymore.
Yeah, and I literally, that's what I was. Yeah. This is what I do. I wrote the first letter was like, "Hey, introducing myself," and I didn't want to go straight into I'm doing an interview because they would have definitely
not like will you blow something up for me or anything. You didn't do anything. Like that.
No, of course not. I was just introducing myself, letting them know where I'm from, and I said I just graduated school, and I'm, this is what I do, journalism, and then the next letter, once they written back, I'm like, okay, cool. Can I get an interview? This would have made my career skyrocket, and then I would have been like, all right, so I don't think we can be friends no more. Sorry, send me some money and we'll be friends. Send me $200,000 and we'll be friends.
I got you. Well, you know what you got to do. I mean, guys like me that are like old, like you said, I mean, and stuff. Old guys are always looking for friends. So let's try to interview like some old guys that maybe.
Oh yeah, but they don't have no money. The elderly doesn't have any money for me.
No, I'm not elderly. I'm not talking
about you. I'm talking about your parents' friends. Like I'm talking about them. They have their social security check, but they don't want to give it to me. They just want to get here and get relations. Like, brother, come on.
I see. Yeah, that is true. Well, okay, we're about 2 minutes. We got to wrap this up here. It's been a lot of fun, but I want to know are you playing any clubs? Are you going to be, are you doing any other shows? I mean, obviously we're going to put your show up on the screen here. Again, it's the Kendra Crump Show. Which that's very. Now, did you come up with that name yourself, or
yes, I started that when I first started doing comedic videos on Snapchat.
I was going to say it's kind of creative. I mean,
I would just be like, "Hey, welcome back to the Kendra Crump Show." But I spelled it differently. It's spelled with a Y, K, D as in the KYNDRACRUMP show. The reason I spelled it with a Y is because it's easier to find me. It's like watching your favorite porn. You have to have a specific name.
Watching your favorite porn, yeah. Right. I always make sure to notice the spelling of the porn stars too before I watch them, because I want to make sure that they're spelled right. So no, I'm not going to go into that. Well, the Kendra Crump Show. We're going to have and I take it you're on Apple, all the major podcasts.
I am. Okay. And if you guys want me to come to your city to do a stand up, you need to pay me. People want to support
New York
you,
City
so
to
put some money.
Okay, well, hey, so maybe I'll join you. That sounds great. Well, you've been a blast to have on. I'd like to have you back again because, it's everything. Usually on this show, we're talking about, politics and racial divide and the economy and all this stuff.
Yeah, I see the American flag back there.
Well, we have the American flag back here. You know why?
Why?
Because my pirate flag is at the cleaners. No, it's not. I'm kidding you. No. I'm a good-blooded American. So, but we'll have you back, and I just want to thank you a lot for being on Kendra Crump Show. We'll check you out, and that's going to do it for us. Hey, everybody, I'm Todd Schowalter. Thanks again for joining me here on Right Mind. And remember, if you don't have a right mind, You don't have a mind at all. Till next time, bye-bye.
This has been the Right Mind Podcast with Todd Schowalter.